Hello and welcome. Namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up over the next 30 minutes. Foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark are to meet US Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Wednesday amid Donald Trump's takeover talks. Internet shutdown in Iran is now over 108 hours long, but international calls get through as Trump imposes 25% additional tariff on nations doing business with the Islamic Republic. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar launches BRICS 2026 website, logo and theme as India assumes BRICS presidency from the 1st of January. Says India will bring together countries for global welfare. And Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi addresses the media at the annual press conference, says Operation Sindoor remains ongoing and a future misadventure will be resolutely responded to. Foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland will meet US Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Wednesday, the Danish foreign minister said, amid President Donald Trump's push to take control of the Arctic island. Danish foreign minister and defense minister on Tuesday attended a meeting of the Foreign Policy Council with Denmark's relationship with the United States on the agenda. Trump has repeatedly said Washington must own Greenland to prevent Russia or China from occupying the strategically located and minerals-rich Arctic territory, adding that US military presence there is just not enough. Iran's nationwide protests enter the third week with hundreds reported dead and thousands arrested as President Trump considers military and non-military options and Tehran warns against US intervention. Trump has said countries that do business with Tehran will face a new 25% tariff. Iran earlier said it's ready to talk with the US based on mutual respect, but is prepared for war. Meanwhile, nationwide shutdown of the internet by Iranian authorities has now lasted over 108 hours. While Qatar has warned that any military escalation between the United States and Iran would have catastrophic consequences for the region, urging restraint amid rising tensions. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Majid Al-Ansari said Doha is working with regional and international partners to pursue a diplomatic solution. The warning comes after the White House said President Trump is considering airstrikes on Iran over its crackdown on protests.
We know that any escalation of the sort that you described would have catastrophic results in the region and beyond, and therefore we want to avoid that as much as possible.
South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung and Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi reaffirmed ties between their countries on Tuesday as the two nations look to bolster security and economic cooperation amid ongoing international tensions. They discussed denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, the fate of Japanese nationals abducted by North Korea, and cooperation in areas such as artificial intelligence and semiconductors. In a joint press statement after their summit, South Korea's president emphasized the importance of close communications between the two nations over North Korean affairs. Farmers in France drove hundreds of tractors into the country's capital city Paris on Tuesday, staging their second major protest in a week against the EU Mercosur trade deal, which they say threatens local agriculture with cheaper imports from South America. Mercosur, a Spanish acronym for the Southern Common Market, is a South American trade bloc formed in 1991 by Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay and Uruguay to promote free trade and economic integration. The protests, led by a powerful farm union, come amid months of unrest in France and across the EU over the proposed agreement and broader domestic grievances. Police estimated that 350 tractors joined Tuesday's demonstration, with convoys converging near the Arc de Triomphe and outside the French Parliament. Pressure on the French government has intensified after most EU member states approved the Mercosur deal on Friday despite France's opposition, prompting fresh political backlash and no confidence motions from opposition parties. The United Nations on Tuesday called for a prompt and impartial inquiry after a federal immigration officer fatally shot a protester in Minneapolis last week. The UN Human Rights Office expressed serious concern over the death of 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, who was killed in her car by an immigration and customs enforcement agent in Midwestern city. UN spokesperson in Geneva said that under international human rights law, lethal force may only be used as a last resort against someone posing an imminent threat to life. Meanwhile, demonstrators have urged authorities to conduct a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the fatal incident. Hungary will hold a general election on the 12th of April. EU's longest-serving current leader, Prime Minister Viktor Orban, faces an unprecedented challenge. Orban has been in power for 16 straight years. Aiming to win a fifth consecutive term, Orban pitches himself as a safe choice, accusing the EU of fueling the war in neighboring Ukraine by supporting Kyiv's fight against Russia. He's rolled out a slew of welfare measures in recent months, benefiting first-time homebuyers, mothers and pensioners. But the party of former government insider turned critic Peter Magyar is seen ahead in opinion polls, against a backdrop of stagnating economy, growing discontent with public services and some high-profile scandals shaking confidence in the government. Campaigning is already underway, with Magyar crisscrossing the country holding rallies, while Orban has made high-profile visits in Washington, D.C. and Moscow. Myanmar's dominant pro-military party on Tuesday claimed a majority of elected lower house seats in the country's junta-run polls, which democracy watchdogs say will prolong the armed forces' grip. The military has ruled Myanmar by force for almost all of its post-independence history before a decade-long democratic experiment gave civilian politicians tentative control. But the generals took back power in a 2021 coup, deposing the government of Aung San Suu Kyi, detaining the democratic figurehead and plunging the country into civil war. The junta is overseeing a staggered election. It pledges to return power to the people after the third and final phase of voting on the 25th of this month. Australia will observe a National Day of Mourning on the 22nd of this month to remember the 15 victims of the mass shooting at Bondi Beach. The day will serve as a moment of grief following one of the country's deadliest acts of violence in recent years. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said on Monday that Parliament would be recalled early next week to pass tougher hate speech and gun laws in the wake of the attack. Albanese said that he wanted legislation to step up penalties for the hate speech and authorize a gun buyback to pass the following day. The proposed laws will also ease visa denials on the ground of racial bigotry and lower the threshold for banning hate organizations. And time now to bring you some more updates from around the world. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed Spain's King Felipe at the Élysée Presidential Palace in Paris on Tuesday. Macron and Felipe are slated to pay a visit to an exhibition at the Versailles Palace. The visit is an occasion to honor the historical, political, human and artistic ties that unite France and Spain. Severe winter weather swept across Central Europe this week, disrupting daily life and forcing airports to shut down. Vienna and Budapest airports were closed after thick ice repeatedly formed on runways, diverting flights to other cities, while Prague and Bratislava reported delays and cancellations as icy conditions spread across the region. In Hungary, Lake Balaton froze almost entirely for the first time in a decade. Authorities warned the ice was unstable and dangerous, but residents gathered to witness the rare spectacle. Livigno in northern Italy will be fully prepared to host Olympic snowboarding and freestyle skiing events next month due to its capacity to make and store the key ingredients, snow. Situated in the Alps close to the Swiss border, Livigno needs large quantities of snow for the half-pipe structure and the jumps used in the spectacular events. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Atrocity against minorities in Bangladesh go on unabated. The latest is a Hindu auto rickshaw driver in the Feni district. And India lights up with the warmth of Lohri, a festival that celebrates harvest, prosperity and togetherness. Also in India Open 2026 badminton, Lakshya Sen overcomes Ayush Shetty to march into the second round.
Open your mind to a whole new world. Explore mystic wonders of nature in the forests.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, in an oblique warning to Pakistan, the Indian Army Chief, General Upendra Dwivedi, has said that Operation Sindoor is ongoing and any future misadventure will be met with a decisive response.
As you may be aware, Operation Sindoor remains ongoing. Any future misadventure will be resolutely responded to. Here I must acknowledge the proactive role of all stakeholders at the national level, including CAPFs, int-agencies, civic bodies, state administration and other ministries, whether it's MHA, Mayati, Railways and many more. Operation Sindoor was the best example of tri-service synergy under clear-cut political directive and full freedom to act or respond.
At his annual Army Day press conference, the General in New Delhi said that the situation along the Western Front and in Jammu and Kashmir remains sensitive but under control.
Since 10th May, the situation along the Western Front and J&K remains sensitive but firmly under control. In 2025, 31 terrorists were eliminated, of which 65% were Pakistan origin, including the 3 perpetrators of the Pahalgam attack neutralized in Operation Mahadev. Active local terrorists are now in single digits. Terrorist recruitment is almost non-existent, only 2 in 2025.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar launched the official website and logo of India's BRICS presidency in 2026. Minister said that the logo has a picture of the lotus with a namaste as a core element depicting unity and diversity. He said that India, as the BRICS chair, will seek to bring together the potential of BRICS countries for greater global good, inspired by the guidance of Prime Minister Modi. The minister also said that the theme, Building for Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability, reflects the belief that cooperation among BRICS members can help address shared challenges in a balanced and inclusive manner.
The theme underscores the importance of strengthening capacities, promoting innovation, and ensuring sustainable development for the benefit of all. The logo that we unveiled today reflects this approach. It combines elements of tradition and modernity, and the petals incorporate the colors of all BRICS member countries, representing unity in diversity and a strong sense of shared purpose. The logo conveys the idea that BRICS draws strength from the collective contributions of its members while respecting their distinct identities.
Atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh go on unabated. A 28-year-old Hindu auto rickshaw driver, Sameer Kumar Das, was brutally murdered in Bangladesh's Feni district on Sunday night, with assailants fleeing the scene with his vehicle. According to police and local sources, Sameer Kumar Das, also known as Sameer Chandra Das, was beaten and stabbed near the Dagan Bhuya Upazila Health Complex. his battery-operated CNG auto rickshaw was taken by the attackers. Locals discovered his blood-soaked body around 2 in the morning on Monday near Dakshin Karimpur, Muhuribari, and informed the police. Investigations are ongoing and efforts are being made to identify and arrest those involved. Now, as Bangladesh heads into its 13th Jatiya Sangsad elections, glaring gender disparities have come under the spotlight. Out of 2,568 candidates contesting, only 109 are women, just over 4%, raising concerns among women's rights activists about the country's commitment to gender representation in politics. The issue was sharply criticized at a press conference organized by the Forum of Women's Political Rights at the Dhaka Reporters Unity, where speakers accused political parties of treating women's participation as symbolic rather than democratic necessity. Meanwhile, the Election Commission was also criticized for failing to enforce existing commitments. As winter peaks in northern India, the country lights up with the warmth of Lohri, a festival which celebrates harvest, prosperity and togetherness. From Punjab to Delhi, from villages to cities, Lohri stands as a vibrant symbol of India's living traditions. Kriti Vadhera reports.
Rhythmic beats of the dhol, crackling bonfires and voices singing folk songs. The festival of Lohri bring communities together. Celebrated on the eve of Makar Sankranti, Lohri marks the end of winter and the beginning of longer days. It is deeply rooted in India's agrarian tradition, thanking nature for a good harvest and praying for prosperity in the coming season. Across Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Delhi, families gather around bonfires offering sesame seeds, jaggery, peanuts and popcorn as a symbol of abundance and gratitude. Lohri holds special significance for the newlyweds and newborns, marking fresh beginnings. Traditional songs of Dula Bhatti, the folk hero of Punjab, echo the values of courage, generosity and social justice. Urban India too celebrates Lohri with renewed enthusiasm, blending tradition with modern life. In a rapidly changing world, festivals like Lohri remind India of its timeless bond with nature, family and community, where joy is shared, not stored, with fire as its witness and hope in every heart. Lohri continues to light up India's cultural soul. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
And time now to get you some sports updates as well. Well, a blockbuster badminton week got underway in the national capital, and as India Open action began in Delhi, featuring a high-voltage all-India clash. Star shuttler Lakshya Sen made a confident start to his campaign, defeating young challenger Ayush Shetty in straight games on the opening day. Lakshya Sen won the contest 21-12, 21-15, showcasing his experience and control on court. Speaking after the match, Lakshya described it as a good contest, admitting that the second game was closer than the scoreline suggested and tested his focus.
Lakshya, wanted to ask you how big this was, considering the fact that this is going to be the finale before the World Championship.
Yes, it's a good tournament. Always lovely to play in front of the home crowd, and yeah, happy with the way I played today. So looking forward to going deep into the tournament. First rounds are always tricky, so you get adjusted to the court, and yeah, the hall is big. It's the shuttles. There's also wind on both sides, so yeah. It'll definitely get better from the second round.
Second game was quite close, isn't it? You thought that things could change?
Yes, I think he was really playing well. He started really well on the second game, and yeah, it was important for me to just stick in there and find my rhythm, and yeah.
I appreciate your time. So that was, Lakshya, his first game. He won against Ayush Shetty. It was a tough game, but he managed to win that in straight games. With camera person Vishwamohan, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
And Canada's rising badminton star Victor Lai began his India Open campaign on a winning note, registering a hard-fought victory over France's Thomas Junior Popov in a thrilling open round encounter. The 20-year-old has already scripted history for Canada, becoming the country's first ever medalist at the Badminton World Championships, an achievement which has placed him firmly on the global badminton map. Speaking exclusively to DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya, Victor Lai expressed his belief that India can play a key role in helping popularize badminton in Canada.
Canada's Victor Lai is with me, and the first time coming in India. How's the feeling coming here and be part of this India Open?
Yeah, my first time in India, my second time playing a 750, but first time Asia 750, so it feels really nice. I mean, I'm pretty lucky I had some fans today to help me get the win. But yeah, getting used to the conditions, a lot of volunteers here, so it's pretty nice.
Being the first person to win the medal in Canada, do you feel that kind of actually will help Canada's badminton scene to improve further? And do you believe that that something can be done from India's perspective also, if India can also help, the Badminton Association of India can also help Canada?
I think, yeah, Badminton Canada, the government in Canada, all the support in Canada can help more. It's tough, but I guess us coming to India is your form of support, I guess, for the tournament, right? We have me, Brian, Michelle, and 2 other Canadians coming to this tournament.
Also wanted to know, when you come here, we see it, the badminton scenario very different, very more matured in India. How do you see your performance? I mean, this tournament vis-a-vis, because in the next few months we will have the World Championship here. So that will also give you a major push to prepare.
Yeah, I mean, that's why coming here was one of my big priorities, just because I knew that Worlds would be here as well. So I'm really happy that I got another match just to play with the conditions and see. I just got used to this atmosphere because I'm going to be back here, hopefully, in August for the World Champs. Yeah.
How the conditions different from?
I would say the drift is pretty strong. The wind, yeah. I don't have too much experience with these kind of conditions, so I'm actually pretty happy with the way I play, adapting to the conditions. One side maybe like this, one side maybe like this. So yeah.
Much appreciate your time and all the best for your next match. So that was Victor Lai, Canadian badminton player, won the first match, and hopefully will be looking to get a better result in the next matches also. And he also mentioned the fact that his aim is also to prepare for the World Championship that will be held in August this year. With campus of Vishwabandhu, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for GD India from Delhi.
National Rifle Association India President Kalikesh Deo has expressed confidence that the Shooting League of India will prove to be a game changer for the sport. In a conversation with DD India's Naran Singh, Kalikesh Deo said that the league will emerge as a strong platform for young up-and-coming shooters to showcase their talent on a national and international stage.
Shooting League of India is the next big thing if you talk about the world shooting. Right now I am joined by Kalikesh Singh Deo, the President of the National Rifle Association of India. Sir, a warm welcome. If you talk about this league, the world's first shooting league, and we know that Olympians will be part of this shooting league, Indian players will be there, and juniors will also be there. So overall, do you think it's going to be a game changer for the world shooting?
I think given the fact that sports needs to become more viewer-friendly, not only for shooting but for any sport in the world, ISSF and NRAI is very keenly observing how the Shooting League of India transformed the spectator and fan experience for the sport. And I think that's where the real game changer comes in. With private franchisees coming in and offering a platform of support for our young shooters going ahead, I think Shooting League of India is going to be a game changer for shooting sports in India as well as world over.
So talking about so far 3 teams have been named, and I think in the next few days or few weeks we will find a couple of more teams. So what are the challenges you face if you talk about it's a global shooting league?
So you're right, the shooting calendar is very tight, not only for our shooting athletes in India, but globally you can imagine there are 130 countries. And to try and coordinate between them it becomes a huge challenge. But we've been very lucky that we have had great support from the ISSF and complete support in terms of making sure that As the dates are available, calendar dates which are free are available. Even then, there are some countries which have national holidays or which have their national competition, the national games happening. But that being said, we've seen a large number of interest from the top shooters in the world. I mean, we've got almost 75, 80 of the top shooters in the world have registered with us.
Do you think in the next big games, Asian Games is this year, Commonwealth, the shooting is not a part of it, but after that Olympics is there. So do you think that this time the numbers in shooting, because expectations are high, so definitely going to increase?
Oh, I'm confident as we get closer to the Olympics. We won 3 medals last time, maybe we'll better our tally. So there's been a fabulous set of performances from young shooters. And I'm confident that we will be able to achieve greater and greater heights thanks to the efforts and the performances of our shooters.
Definitely, it's going to be a game changer. The Shooting League of India, the way our youngsters are performing, and in the next few years, definitely when the next big events like Asian Games and Olympics will come, definitely with the kind of support they are getting from the NRAI, our number of medals will increase. Camera person Manmohan, Narayan Singh, DD India, Noida.
And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen to download the app right away. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.